What's good, superstars? Back with another VV video. You got Superstar Joe, you got Superstar Rob, and you got Superstar Carlton Flowers in the building. Oh,
it's a double knockout.
The last time I saw one of those was on YouTube, and those two guys knocked each other out. Oh my god!
I had to bring it back.
How am I going to
do the video anymore?
I don't know if I can do this video.
Guys, we got Superstar Cryptopro, Carlton Flowers.
Yeah!
Big time fans. We have been big time fans of your channel for the longest time. We love the fact that you do a lot of data driven analysis. You follow the charts. You talk about other crypto as well. So you have an interesting channel over there. Why don't you talk a little bit about your channel, and then we'll get into it.
Right on. Let's do it.
There you go.
So there's your channel. Why don't you talk a little bit about it? Let us know about your channel, what you do over there.
The channel started out where I was doing Bitcoin and altcoin videos, and it might have been maybe 2017. I can't even remember. I started getting into crypto in 2017. I started flipping penny stocks back in 1999. That's where I learned technical analysis. And then one day in 2017, I discovered that TA works on crypto. I don't know why I didn't think it wouldn't, but that's when I started the YouTube channel. And it was also kind of a wake-up call, because the first time I knew about Bitcoin, it was at about $1. And I thought, well, that's kind of cool. I want to mine some Bitcoin. And then it was very complex. It was very clunky. It was nerdy, hard to understand. And then when I was really digging in, I thought, well, what am I going to buy with this stuff? There's nothing out there to shop and buy with. And I lost interest. So then I came back on the scene in 2017 in shock at the Bitcoin price. And that's where the channel started. So I started doing the TA on cryptos. And then something disrupted my entire life and T-boned me. Okay, back in November. No. It was January of 2021. And because of Josh Tran, JT, shout out to JT, who is in my Telegram group, and also Adam from Great Britain, I ended up going headfirst into the Veve app. So that's what started my Veve videos, which since then has been 50% of everything I do or more has been focused on the Veve NFT collecting. So that's how it all started.
So that's cool. So guys, make sure you guys go over to Cryptopro's YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. Definitely worth your time. Does longer videos kind of like we do sometimes as well. When he's talking Veve, he'll go through the whole market. He spends a lot of time and analysis. So very, very good resource to have. And if you're new here, please don't forget, hit the subscribe button, become a superstar. Great things are happening to superstars every single day. I mean, Cryptopro knows all about the juju. He's been hitting stuff on the drops like crazy. So that's definitely something you want to do. Become a superstar, hit the subscribe button. You can also become a superstar VIP, $2.99 a month. You get a nice star beside your name. You get access to our spreadsheet, some data-driven analysis, just like our boy Cryptopro over here. And also you'll see everything we buy, everything you sell. We got giveaways. We gave away a star, 2 stars in the universe a couple days ago. Also, we got mini brands. We do giveaways every 5 days. Disney mini brands. We just had a winner the other day. Shout out Jordan C. He's in Israel. We're sending him a package this week. So we're worldwide here. But guys, make sure to become a superstar or a VIP. Here are all of our VIPs, guys. Thank you very much for being in the team here. It's very, very humbling for us. Also, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, follow us over there if you want to. And if you want to follow us on Veve, we got it in our bio on Twitter because we can't KYC our second account. Other than that, I'm going to pull this down for a second.
It's going to be I think the news wasn't too big today.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I got one more thing. Sorry, guys. I wanted to, because another thing you can do as a VIP is you can also promote your sales on our channel if you want. So shout out to Abel Thomas over here, VIP. He is selling a low mint Marvel Comics #1, number 766. So that's it's a lowest 266 mints for $9.99. Look at the surrounding listings, guys. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I have 2 of these. So that's the game. Unfortunately, Fastos for us is not listed, but I think that is a way that they can find you, Carlton. Is that not correct?
Yes, indeed.
9.9 mil.
Yeah. So if you want to follow Cryptopro, he has the Fastos 9.9 million listed, and make sure you go check him out. Quick run through on our Twitter. Yesterday, I hung out with Veve Arcade. Solid time. I just did a last minute decision, jumped on the stream. He was inviting everybody. I love that he invites people from the crowd onto the channel. So shout out to Veve Arcade. That's another channel you guys should subscribe to. It was a really fun time. Also, Fro Ecomi, thank you for becoming a VIP. He's the most recent VIP, and we sent him some nice good juju, so he should be set for the next couple drops. Viviversity today did a really good TikTok. I don't know if you saw it, but she was talking about all of the celebrities that are on Veve. So I thought that was pretty cool. If you go check this out, she goes through a bunch of them. And I think that there's probably more than she even shows here that maybe aren't as vocal about it. Maybe they're trying to pack their bags before things take off here. But bunch of familiar faces in that video. This one was pretty cool. Nice little video from Hawaii. Look at the AR. It's like so realistic. Look at this.
Oh my god.
He's like,
my god.
He's like, I'm trying to enjoy the view, but there's all this commotion. You got Black Panther jumping in the air there. Wild scenes.
I still think the T-Rex is one of the nicest collectibles on the app.
It is. It's awesome. I had my T-Rex going wild at Cedar Point in Ohio.
Nice.
Tail swiping people in the crowd walking by.
I think that this is what you're going to see through these glasses in a couple of years. You know, when you get these AR glasses, I think this is kind of the utility that we're going to get from these types of collectibles. And we got the posters and all that in people's houses. I think it's just going to be that's going to be the main utility for all of this. And this one I wrote #MyBuzz because the other one was #NotMyBuzz. Someone put Deadpool's head on Buzz. I was really happy with that. I don't know if you heard this. They got a new Veve anthem. Shout out Kaylee Brooks. Really catchy song.
I listened to it today. It was pretty cool.
If you haven't heard it, something different. It's nice to see the creativity of the Veve fam. And a bunch of other. Chris Coffey posted a list of YouTube channels if you guys want to check out a bunch of creators. And Veve was finally commented on the KYC support tickets because we've been getting all the comments for them. Everyone asking us, when can my KYC? Why is my KYC not going through? They just posted an update. They said they're working on it. The queue is moving quicker now. Hang tight. Don't send multiple tickets. They'll get to you. There's a 4-part thread if you want to check it out. It's on our Twitter. So Rob, why don't you get it started? Why don't you start talking with Cryptopro here about the main topic of the video?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of things to talk about, especially when we have someone who's been around for as long as you in the app. So one thing that we've always loved about what you do is you love volume of collectibles. It's almost like the true character of a collector, which is you just want to own as much as you can own that you like. There's a lot of nice things on this app. So how did you come to being like that? Because maybe others can learn from your strategy. Why do you collect in volume? And is there ever going to be an end to the amount of volume that you want to collect?
The reason why I started collecting in volume, and I call it stacking, the reason why I started stacking is because early on when Josh Tran, JT, shout out to JT and my boy Adam out in Great Britain. JT's down in New Orleans. When we were buying on the app and the season 1 things were selling out, we started thinking, grab this stuff while you can. And so like one night I'm just chilling out, checking out the items on the market. And then we get a message from JT saying, hey, guys, Jake the dog is dwindling. There's only 150 left. I think this is going to be big. We better grab as many of these as we can. And I'm like, are you guys sure? Well, maybe I'll get a couple. And then he says, now it's at 99. And then Adam's like, oh my God, now it's at 80. Get more. And Adam would always say, buy. And it was just always, running joke. He's got this crazy streety British accent. Yeah. And so I remember just sitting there, just buying them up like, dear God, what am I doing? I'm going to be out in the street. My wife's going to divorce me. My kids are going to hate me. And I'm just buying like piles. And I ended up with like, say, 20 Jake the dogs that night. And we wrote it down to 0 until they were gone. And so that happened with Bubbles, with both the Powder Puff Girls. It happened with the Princess. It happened with Ice King. I can't tell you how many that were out there. Well, maybe not Ice King, because some of the ones were China market only.
Okay.
And we had to trade for those. And we'd pile up some stuff and we'd flip it with the friends that we would meet who were over in the China market.
Wow.
But there was so many different items that we drove down to sellouts. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that started the stacking. And then I hadn't been on the thing, but what, 2 months? And then we ran into a market cycle peak. So the next thing you know, I had maybe 200 to 300. I remember thinking Adam had lost his ever-loving mind when he got to 300 items. And then 2 months later, I had 300 items. I mean, I had 15 Stay Puft Marshmallow Men. I had 15, 20 the Moogly, the Ghostbuster 1 logos. I had amassed 5 ultra rare DeLoreans. I had 30 of the common, 5 of the uncommon. And then we hit the market cycle peak. Back then, there was no market. Back then, you listed your stuff on eBay, or you would trade in groups, which I did not trust. You get your arbitrage person, and you would, or what do you call it? Not arbitrage, your middleman.
Escrow.
Yeah, you get your escrow person, and you would swap. Well, I'm a power seller on eBay, and they didn't throw up any rules against selling the NFTs at that point. So I started listing on eBay, and I made a quick $12,000, $13,000, $14,000 cash. Okay.
Wow.
You know, all the people that sit there, you can't make cash on that VV crap. They ain't got no cash out. So listening to those idiotic comments for so many months, and I'm like, you are so out of touch here. I've already made $14,000 cash. I mean, I paid off a bunch of bills. I bought a used car. I got a Lincoln Mark 8 in my garage right now. Bought from my buddy, my business partner. And then I turned around and I bought more stuff. So I had dwindled down to like 250, and then I bought a whole bunch more stuff. So since I had the experience of buying those items out that were going to zero, I knew that there was a benefit to stacking, because I was able to sell 5 or 6 Ghostbuster 1 logos at, you know, $250 to $500 a pop and still have 10 left over. Okay. I was able to sell 5 Stay Puft guys at $200-$300 and still have 15 left over. So that told me there's value in this, because when you have what I call whales, the ones who manipulate, I don't consider myself a whale, they list stuff in bulk. I don't understand that concept. I mean, they'll put up a sell wall, and I know some people will do it so they can scare everybody to list lower than they buy the lower than rug pull their own. And then some don't do it. They do it to help others. I don't know. There's different reasons why people do that. But for me, there's no way in the world I would list 10, 15, 20 items during the bottom of a market. Why? Because when you stack that stuff up and you have a market cycle peak, sell one at a time on the way up and don't tank the market. Because while I'm selling, I'm not driving the prices down, because I'm not going to throw a sell wall up and ruin the frenzy. So that's beyond me. But when you got that stack and you understand how in the stock market and in the crypto market, the big institutions, they buy when everything is in the crapper, in the toilet. They accumulate. That's the accumulation phase. And then when you get into the parabolic phase, when everything starts shooting up, they're selling all the way up. By the time you get to a market cycle peak, like when Bitcoin peaked out at, say, 68 or whatever, all the institutions were gone. The only people left at that point when you get to that market cycle peak is all the sucker retail investors. And so the smart people is gone. The smart money is gone. So the same concept, that's where I got the idea here to stack. And then when you have a market cycle peak, you don't know where the peak is going to be. We have no idea. But if you're just selling off on the way up, dollar cost averaging in reverse, you're going to make a lot of money. And so I was able to sell into that run, sell into the next run, and then buy a bunch more stuff with gems that I flipped 10x or more. And so I ended up really ramping up, and I guess winter and spring. And then since May, I've been spending my hard-earned money. I'm out there doing hard work, okay? And I'm spending money, but I buy in the basement. And we'll get more into that too. It's not grail. I'm not grail heavy. I'm not like those amazing folks that'll have like 10, 15 wallets. I mean, wow, I respect that. I've got a lot of, I'll call it the blue collar collection. I got a few grails, but I got a lot of simple things that I focus on stacking to sell into those runs in order to leverage my gems.
You know,
so no, that's really cool. And if you, it's almost like a wholesale mentality kind of thing. Like you accumulate stock, and then when people come to buy for the Christmas rush or whatever,
There you go. Right.
Here's the store, right? So
Yeah.
really, really cool. And guys, I know he hasn't mentioned it, but Carlton here is being super, super humble right now. Okay, because we talked to him earlier. We tried to figure it out using Only the Clown's little thing there, but we ended up going on IMX, and I wrote down the numbers, Carlton.
Oh boy.
He has the top 100. He's wallet number 102. So you have if you count most collectibles downwards, he's number 102. And Rob, I don't know if you have the number written, but that's the percentage.
In percent.
That's
in
already
percent.
divided by 100. That's the percentage of
or
wallets.
multiplied by 100.
There's 645,000 wallets. He's number 102.
That doesn't even fit in my head. That's crazy. How many wallets?
645,000.
Yeah. Good grief.
Well, that's unique wallets. That's
unique
wallets, right? There's a debate about what's active. There's a debate about how many.
Right.
Two or more. I think
not a lot of those are active. Yeah.
A lot of single. A lot of them are I think only 250.
That's right. The empty ones, which makes it look more like I've lost my mind, like I'm crazy, but it's actually not even half that bad.
Well, the thing with you is that you're in early enough that you're really playing in a way with house money, right? Because you've already done it. I love how you made a reference to your other investing, and you talk about your accumulation and how you've brought what you've learned from the actual, investing world and crypto world, and you're applying it here on Veve. And we actually did a video, funny enough. Okay. We did a video a while ago. It might have been like 4 months at this point, where we compared in the bull run, Secret Rare Spider-Man to owning and stacking a bunch of Marvel Comics #1 commons.
Huh.
And what we found was if you stack the Marvel Comics #1 commons, in the end, you would have made more with stacking the common Marvel Comics #1 than buying one Secret Rare Spider-Man.
Boom. Wow. So amazing.
Now,
amazing.
I don't know if that necessarily works with every single collectible on the app that's not a grail, because Marvel Comics #1 common is well sought. It's still a pretty good common, though it's cheap. But that just shows you that stacking can be more effective.
Yes.
Than just buying a grail.
Absolutely. It's
for the same amount of money.
To sell that one grail than a pile of commons. So there's a little bit more work involved. But if you've got that one grail, you have one shot to sell that at a market cycle peak. One shot. And if you wait too long and the peak is over and you start to sail down, good luck trying to sell it for anything, because you're going to be adjusting that price multiple times a day, undercutting people trying to get it sold. Whereas with multiple commons or anything else, just like Marvel's #1, you can sell on your way up. And it is similar to fractionalized buying. Okay, so you can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can't do fractional buying of these big grails like Secret Rare Spider-Man. It's like what you said in your example, buying a stack of equivalent amount of money worth of Marvel #1s is just like fractionalized buying of that Secret Rare Spider-Man. And it gives you more control on cashing yourself out, selling out. Plus, it reduces your risk because you can sell as you go, and it will prevent you from as much slippage than if you're holding that one big thing and then the price cuts in half, a third, a fourth, like what we've seen that has happened.
Well, also, if you think about it, only one person is going to catch that peak of that grail collectible. Only one person is going to get that 100,000 sale, if it even sells. It might be 95,000 that sold, and 100 was the last one listed that never got purchased, and then they had to start the undercutting. So only one person with that collectible will get that number. But if you're selling on the way up with your stack, you might not get the total value of the one sale, but you're guaranteeing yourself a little bit more of a chance at profit.
Exactamundo.
Another thing that you said that I love as well is this idea about how you have more control over your liquidity and your risk. So in the crypto world, I don't know if you know him. His name's Benjamin Cohen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Big fan.
Big fan, right? So he has his risk model.
Yes.
Where basically he uses mathematics. He's a PhD engineer, whatever he ends up. I've actually never personally used his services. I just know about it. But he uses mathematics and his own formulas to basically assess the risk of the crypto markets.
Uh-huh.
So you're constantly adjusting and buying when it's low and you're selling when it's high.
Yeah.
I love your point, because if you only have 1,000 gems, you have more control over playing that risk assessment with buying, stacking with your strategy, rather than going and buying one collectible R2D2, let's say for 1,000.
Right.
That's it. You're done. You own R2D2. You're done. Your game's over.
Yes.
You stack those comics. You stack whatever you want to stack.
Right.
You can flip a little bit on the way up. You can sell off, profit, and you're not scared buying on the way down because your eggs are not in one basket.
That's right.
You can chip away
it out.
This is why I wanted to ask you, because we think a lot of people, including myself, can learn from your strategy, and we can maybe find ways to apply your strategy in our own VV strategies as well, so that we can gain the same benefit that you're gaining from your stacking. So I think that was a great answer, by the way.
Yeah. And I guess the other thing I want to ask you, Carlton, I know that Rob gave an example here about the Secret of Spider-Man versus the Marvel Comics one, and very, very sought after collectibles. I think we wouldn't have trouble selling some Marvel comic ones in a bull run. I know that you are of a little bit different thinking with some of the things that you do stack compared to a lot of people on the app. I've seen your videos. I see what you look at. I've seen a bunch of Sue Storms, some Electras, not everybody's favorite things. Can you kind of maybe explain the thought process behind it? Do you think that in a bull run, these things will run just the same, or just maybe more than they're at now? Like, what is the reasoning behind your decision-making on those ones?
In general, overall, they all run about the same. And you might have some that get manipulated along the way, but I tend to think that you can't really lose. But then here's your big tip. You take something that you think is cool, that's one of your favorites, right? Like the ultra rare glider, right? And you look at the price every day. Like, I'm on the app all day, every day. I'm constantly, if I'm in line at Walmart, I'm looking at the prices on the app. If I'm at the dentist office waiting, I'm looking at the price on the app all day, every day. I know the behavior of the ultra rare glider. I know what price points it hits. I know the chart because I study the chart. So when you take your favorite thing, that might be Sue Storm, it might be the ugly Electra, but when you look at it every day and you know how it behaves, and you look at what the multiples were in the previous cycle, and then you know when there are listings of that item on the market that is an outlier that you snap up, you're gonna make maximum gains. And so, like I was explaining on that last video, $5.99 on a Sue Storm common is an outlier. And I know that it was above like 100 gems in the last run. So you're looking at something that you could pull down 15, 20x if we have another market cycle, which can't be guaranteed. But as I always say, humans are going to human, and they're going to FOMO this thing to the moon again. It's going to happen in time. So when you know the behavior of your favorites, you don't have to go with the crowd, because they're talking about the secret rare super duper sparkly warkly. You don't have to go with that, because you know the charts of this thing over here that gives you that same leverage. And then while everybody's paying attention over here, I'm watching stuff like the visible Labbit that goes down to 45 and then gets pumped up to 125, then floats back down to 75, then floats back down to 45, then gets pumped up over 100. And so since I know the behavior, because I can tell what happens when the whales, whoever they are, and come in and do this crazy sweep the floor thing, which I've never understood. They'll come in and buy up every Labbit from $45 all the way to 125. Why, and then watch the price float all the way back down to where it started. So I've noticed that you guys have been taking advantage of flips whenever we get those little floor sweeps that happen. And so when you know the behavior of items, which ones that attract the attention to get the floor sweep that float all the way back down, like the Joe Mad Batman, then you can take advantage along the way, and then you know when to start selling on the next run. And so then it's the contrarian view too. I don't go with the masses. The way that you make your best gains is to do the opposite of what the crowd is doing.
That's a good point. You know, it's funny you said it's going to go to the moon. I think that humans are going to FOMO this actually to superstar Mo in the Orion belt.
They are
in the Orion belt. So they're not. They're going to go past the moon for sure. Another thing that I wanted to add to your argument about stacking, and to add to that point, is that when you're sprinkled in so many collectibles, we're so early, we don't know the future utility of some of these. Like you mentioned, Labbits. People talked about breeding. If breeding comes, that might pump that extra utility is just going to add more and more value to these different collectibles. So when you own these, when you own a lot of these things, you give yourself a chance to get lucky.
Yes.
Right? Like it's called, you make your own luck. So if you own the Eye of Agamotto and then Mr. Yu himself comes in and says, hey, you might want these for the Infinity Stones. And next thing you know, what 3X is. Yeah. You gave yourself a chance to be lucky by owning many collectibles. And I think that's another thing to add to your point as well.
Yes. Yes. A perfect example of that was the common DeLoreans that last year everybody wrote them off as just trash, never going to be worth anything. There's too many editions of them. There's just way too many of them. They can never pull up. So I was dumb for stacking them. But then what do we see happen? We knew that they drove once. They turned it off. And then the rumors started that they're going to turn it on again. Then they turn it on. And what do we watch? The price go from 30 to 150. Where is it at right now? You know what the price is now? 19 gems.
I actually don't know. 19 gems?
Yeah. Yeah. So I had to sell like 4 of mine at between 100 and 120 just because. So I'm going to get those 4 back. Maybe pretty soon. I still got 26 commons left, so I'll buy those 4 back just to have the nice round number of 30. But to your point, I was set up to be able to profit from that and take advantage of the situation because of the stack.
So you mentioned that you do this strategic stacking where you might go for some collectibles that are contrarian to market sentiment, what people are talking about, what people are going after. Do you have, of your guys, listen to this, 1,686 collectibles / comics, do you have any portion of that you're trying to hold long term that might be things that you like, or is your entire VV journey based off of profiting and making as much money as possible?
I do want to keep some things. Like I was just telling my brother-in-law, we went to Cedar Point, Sandusky, Ohio, and while we were in a 2-hour roller coaster line, I got to explain to him blockchain and cryptocurrency and VV NFTs. So he went home, and his wife has now jumped on the bandwagon, and she's buying now. But the point is, I had just bought the Retrospective, the crate expectations for like 140 gems. And then day before yesterday, I bought the Venice one for 175. It dipped down. I knew it was an outlier. Now, those two I love because I'm fascinated that they were able to take an incredible piece of art. I love the optical illusion type of stuff in art. And so it's amazing that they were able to take a physical piece of art that you walk by and gives you this incredible optical illusion and reproduce that in digital format where you get the same optical illusion on the VV app. I'm like, I'm sold. I knew as soon as they came out with that, I would own it. So I'll probably not ever sell those two unless I buy multiples. And then of everything else, like my stack of 27 Sue Storms, I'll keep 1 or 2 because I want a collection of stuff to have fun with and do silly videos that I post on Instagram, you know, fool around with pictures to send to wife, kids, cousins, friends, and whatnot. So I do want a little collection, but then the stack is there for making money. And that's the whole reason why I stack. I'm looking to leverage, invest, and it's more fun to invest in VV NFTs than it is cryptocurrencies. Because let's say KDA, Kadena, that's one of my favorite blockchains. Kadena is amazing, but what is it? What does it look like? You know, all of the magic internet money is just a concept. No, it's the same here, but with our magic internet money non-existent concept, you get a picture that seems like it's a real thing that we can even bring into our world in augmented reality. That's fun. So imagine that. I could buy crypto that's a thing in augmented reality that is very much fun, but it behaves just like a crypto project, or I can look at that chart and know exactly what's going on and have the ability to make educated guesses about the direction of its price progression.
So speaking of the previous strategy, the game has changed now. So we know now that KYC is here. We know now cash out is here. Obviously, It's very early. There's some hiccups in the KYC. Do you think that with the new environment now coming to the VV market, will you change your strategy in any ways? Are you going to tweak it? And how will you change it if you are?
None. There's nothing to change. The overarching thing is human behavior and FOMO.
You can always
matter what happens. You know, it's like, you know, we get these things, KYC and A, B, C, D, G, F, X, Y, Z. We get all those different things. And really, it'll have minute impact. Or like when we were looking at that July 31st, when they were delisting everything, and it bumped that market. But then it goes back to the natural way of things. So everything always tends to balance out. So all these little tweaks and changes and whatever, the thing that runs it all is human nature and the market cycle. So we really don't have to worry about any of that. Therefore, I don't have to tweak my strategy from these recent changes. No.
So impossible question for you to answer, but I guess further to Rob's question there, we get this question all the time. What do you think will be the spark to kind of turn market sentiment? Do you think it's macro related? Do you think it's something that Veve is going to do here? Maybe with, I know you just mentioned maybe probably not with MCP. It might not be your idea, but maybe just elaborate what you think could change the market and what will get that FOMO going again.
I'm very glad you asked that, because I have a contrarian, very outside of the box answer for that question. And it's not something you're going to hear anybody else say. Here's my answer. No spark needed. You know how they say, show me the news and I'll show you the chart. And then they say, but show me the chart and I'll show you the news. How people think that the news influences and directs the crypto prices. And then the real smart TA people say, nope, the charts will chart. And then they create news to reinforce it and enhance it. And so here, we don't need a spark. I mean, it's going to happen. This is inevitable. We already see from the previous runs that we have had with no sparks, with no marketing, people have already lost their ever-loving minds because Secret Rare Spider-Man went to $100,000 for an invisible thing. Let's just picture a bunch of zeros and ones on an HTTP address out in space on computers that you will never be able to see, touch, smell, feel, nothing. And someone put $100,000 for something that only exists in our imagination. Okay, do we really need a spark?
Yeah,
I mean, we had thus far, and how many sparks have there been? Me and Adam and JT were going bananas, having FOMO before we even knew if this thing was going to last a few months. Now, there I was sitting there crying, oh my God, why am I buying all this stuff? I'm going to be broke. I'm buying this stuff down to zero without knowing much of anything about the company. Where was the spark there? Now, if I did that, there's a whole bunch more people that are going to have that same experience once they get sucked into this app. Therefore, I don't think a spark will make a hill of beans difference, because this snowball is rolling down the mountain and it's going to continue as long as there's more human beings, lemmings, just like me, that are going to jump in head first, lose their minds, and become addicts like us and start buying the heck out of these things.
Yeah, so that's a good point. I like how you said that the charts will control the news in a sense, because the money will start flowing. When the money starts flowing, then the news catches on and reports on it. So I know you're right in terms of there was no catalyst, true catalyst, and the money still came into the app and the FOMO pump happened. But if you think about the potential for the VV-verse now, I don't know how much weight you put on that, a metaverse interoperability in the sense with the collectibles. They did say, although I know that they say a lot of things, that it should be by the end of the year. If that does happen, do you think that that's going to at least in some ways create more FOMO if people can now feel and socialize in a metaverse?
I would say slightly to my own personal opinion is no, it won't make a difference. I mean, it'll be nice and it'll be super, super fun. It'll attract a little attention, but I say zero effect because it's the FOMO. It's the human nature that's going to run this thing. I mean, look at how many times we were let down because they didn't meet the deadline of when they had promised to roll out the Veveverse. And we've already had 3 or 4 insane, mindless runs, right? So when it does come out, if anything, it usually does the opposite where it's a letdown because everybody would say, oh my God, the Veveverse is about to start. We're going to be rich in these parts. It's going to go up 100x.
Yeah.
You go, boop. Oh God, it's a flop. I'm selling. Then they'll be upset. And so I tend to say, it might be a little bump. It might not. Doesn't matter. It'll be nice. At least it's something different. Gets a little attention, but I lose no sleep over it and I put no faith in it.
I think
either way.
I agree with you. I think that's true. I do think that in this type of environment, thus far at least, it's been a lot easier maybe to predict the downside and when things are going to go down than when things are going to go up and stay up.
Very true.
So speaking of which, we have a ever looming comic book that's supposedly coming out, and a lot of people think it's causing a squeeze. Rob and I think that this has to do more with the money coming into the app, macroeconomics and whatnot. Maybe that's why we're squeezing down here. But I think maybe AF15, some people trying to save some gems for it might be helping as well. Also, maybe the number of people, because not everybody's KYC, that's also helping it to go downwards. I think, like I said, it's easier to track stuff going down. How do you see the whole AF15 saga playing out when it comes to market prices?
I would say that I would lean towards the reasons of what you guys mentioned and not the AF15 gem squeeze, because usually when you have something like that, you're going to go quick dive, super fast rebound. Okay. But we were seeing tank, little rebound, tank, little rebound. Like today, we bumped back up a little bit, but it's still in the same general trend. So as the market is sliding down, then you take those things that you guys mentioned in your last video that I did watch finally last night, where that'll pull it down and then we're still on this slope, pull it down again, still on this slope, pull it down. So it enhances the drop. And those things that you mentioned kind of push on it further down, but we're still in that same overall distribution phase where prices are slipping down. And then the proof is we see the notch up and then continue down, notch up, continue down. And so you get the little bumps. And a lot of times those bumps are natural. Sometimes it's from some little frenzy over some spot news, but then the bottom is lower because of what you mentioned. But overall, we still have to make it through a distribution phase before we get to a flat spot. So
no, guys, sorry, there's no gunshots outside my house. That's just some fireworks going off in the background. So if you guys hear that, that's what that is. I agree. I think that someone actually in our comments, sorry, Rob, that somebody in our comments actually had a great point. I don't remember the name. I don't know if you do, Rob, but they mentioned maybe a reason why we might see a rebound. And I think they might be right when it comes to the rebound. Maybe we saw today is that we had a bunch of people KYC and not get verified and have their gems locked up. Right?
Yes.
So prices came down because less people are competing. They can't buy things. Not as many people can afford things. Then
buying power.
And we see Veve tweet today that they're working through them. KYCs are being released now. These people have money on the sidelines. They might be putting that in.
Yes.
Doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to change the whole market sentiment and push it back up, but I think it's going to let people buy up some of the low-hanging fruit.
And we saw that.
Exactly.
I agree. You were right about that. We saw a lot of those floors get snapped up, little bump, and now they're starting to trickle down again.
Mm-hmm. So, separate question. You're a crypto guy. Do you own OMI? What's your thoughts on the token? Do you see a long-term future in it?
And shame on me. You guys should stay on me to do some. I need to start reporting OMI TA, but I call it the set and forget it. I don't care what happens in the market. I'm like, the one crypto that I have of the 200 different things that I've got, all these crap projects, they're all crap, really. OMI is the best, okay, and is the one I worry about the least, because look at all these brands coming on. Look at the token burns and all of the excellent reporting that the tech heads like you guys and Puddin' Cheeks. So I've noticed sometimes, Joe, you say Puddin' Cheeks. It's a Canadian. I laugh at you guys in your
Both say
Canadian
it sometimes.
accents. I love it.
I think
Puddin'.
Rob says
When you
Puddin'
say
Cheeks.
Puddin'.
I say it. I
Oh,
say
are
it.
you the one that says that
I'll
Puddin'
go.
Cheeks?
Puddin'. It's puddin' cheeks. I've been corrected so many times, but sometimes I just can't help it.
20 years ago, we had a running joke. Do you know how Canadians spell Canada?
K with a K, right?
Nope.
No. Oh.
C-A-N-A-D-A.
Yeah.
But you guys don't say
joke.
A. You know, that's gone. That was like back in my generation.
Yeah,
No,
we still
Canadians
say it.
say
We still
a
say
lot.
it.
We still say it a lot. We still say it for sure. I remember once I visited the States for work, and I was with a bunch of Americans. They told me all sorts of different words. I say like flag, like there were just random words like no. We know that's not how you're supposed to say it. I'm like, what am I gonna do, right? What am I gonna do?
That's hilarious. I forgot the question now. What was the question?
Oh no, it was just
Oh my.
and it was a good point.
Yeah. So I bought at 0.0027 and I had like sold off self key. I had been playing self key. It's a chart that I know and it's an app I like. You can store your driver's license, credit card, legal documents on the blockchain. And I had played that sucker where I'd bought $200, $300, $400 worth and leveraged that to like 2,500. So then I took 2,300 of the gains. I threw that into OMI. And then at the peak, it was like over $13,000. And so now it's below my entry price, but I don't care because I'm like, all right, I might buy more. And I have 1.5 million on my tokens. So I'm an OMI millionaire, which is very small compared to people like Dan and everybody else, or good God, Randy Chavez. That guy's got what, like 7.9 billion OMI.
I have no idea.
He's got so much OMI, it's more than the circulating supply. He's the true OMI whale. But somehow 500,000 extra tokens ended up in my wallet when they converted to Immutable X. And I don't know if somebody donated that to me or if it was a mistake. And to this day, I have no clue.
Wow.
I can't figure it out, but I might grab another million or two. If it goes back down to 0.001, I'll grab another million and then just let it sit, because that's the one thing that I'm thinking, hey, go to sleep on that sucker for the next, 2 to 5 years or even longer, and it will be just fine. It's only going to get better from here. And that the reason why I haven't done any TA on it is because I'm really just not concerned. I mean, for it to be my only one that I set it and forget it, besides Cadena, I think that's another great one. But I love the OMI token, so I do plan on snatching up more, and I'm excited for whenever it happens that we can sell items for gems and convert gems to OMI or back and forth. That's going to be awesome.
So that's actually something I was just going to bring up, because we had Puddin' Cheeks on the channel, and I don't know if you saw that video, and he mentioned how wild it was. I think this might have been even before you got in, because they actually had the ability to go from collectible to OMI, and he was tracking both charts. So he would have to track collectible chart plus track the OMI chart and see what made more sense to hold at the time.
Right. And that was incredible. I loved that.
So now that we don't have that utility anymore for the OMI token, right now I think it's almost like you say, it's accumulation phase.
Right.
Nothing else, because there's zero utility, zero reason for it to go up other than burning off whatever amount of tokens get burnt off. And right now there's so many tokens still left that it doesn't really affect the price. I do think once we see OUP come to play, that OMI will become a real player, especially if we get back OMI to NFT, NFT to OMI, because that sounds like it was the wild, wild west, and you were tracking things. And I think collectible prices will go like up and down way more volatilely. I think it's going to be crazy when that happens.
Absolutely.
I think you called it almost like a mental warfare with yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I got to sell my OMI. You don't want to sell it, but it's like OMI's high right now. I got to get rid of it to convert to collectibles and back and forth. And
no doubt.
It kind of touches upon something I actually really want to ask you this, because it's clear that your strategy is you really do dollar cost average, in the sense that you're buying an accumulation,
right?
You're stacking, you're buying over a long period of time, and then you're selling into strength. Do you ever utilize a momentum strategy where you'll be buying into strength? Have you done it in the VV market on the last pump? or do you stick to your current strategy right now? You're stacking for the great time, and then you're just going to keep going back and forth.
On the last couple of peaks, I was buying into runs, not getting crazy, but fortunately, like on the last one, I was buying with all leverage gems, so it was okay. And I think that's the last one. Now I've got so much actual money that I put into buying that I'm trying to pile up enough that I'm not buying into strength anymore. Like on this next run, I shouldn't be doing that. I should just be selling. And so I've got to be careful about that. Now, in the beginning, when you come in with 10x your gems, you do whatever you want. Because I'm buying, I like bought Sue Storm Secret Rare at 600 gems, but it was like 100 gems to me, or 50 gems, because it was blown up from stuff that I had sold before. But now when I buy these items today, I'm buying with cash, straight cash. And I had missed out on buying aftermarket, secondary market gems. And you remember when I got conned, which that was a good experience. And everything always works out for the better. Whatever's taken from you will come back tenfold if you believe that. So on the next run, I want to only be selling into that and not buying, because I should know better by now. And I'm in a position that with so much cash into this that I don't need to undercut myself and start purchasing way above retail amounts. So hopefully I'll be just selling into it. Now, if I got some 20x gems and I want to buy the purple and yellow twinkly blinkly, and it's already run up to 500 gems, I might do that just because I want it, but it's only because I sold off this other stuff at 10 to 20x. But I won't be spending cash going bananas buying something that has already run up into the market.
Incredible. And would you be stacking Buzz? Is Buzz something that you would stack? I'm just curious.
Well, I'm still mad. I'm like you guys. That's not my Buzz. It just makes me mad because, okay, I'm turning 55 this Sunday. My oldest son, Scott's 30.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And so Scott's 30. Erica, my daughter down in Texas, shout out to Scott and Erica. She's 28. She's the one with my grandbabies. And they came up through Toy Story. Okay. And so Scott, he had Woody. I mean, he's still got his old torn and tattered Woody to this day. And he loved that Woody. And I loved it too, because that was my son's, one of his favorite toys. Okay. And so he had a Buzz. So Scott and Erica loved it. I loved it with them. We went and saw him in the theaters together. And then they come out with this guy, Buzz Light. I'm like, what is this crap? I want freaking Buzz. I want the real deal. So I'm like you. I haven't even bought it yet because I'm just mad about that. I'm like, how do you come out with the original Woody, and then you put this freaking Buzz Light guy out there before you put the original? I don't understand it. So, like you said, it must have been they're trying to promote the new movie, which is understandable. So, what are you going to do?
I think that the other thing too, since it's not, I think it's still not sold out, right? So your upside is already decided for you until that sells out.
That's right. So no, I'm not stacking that.
No point stacking until you don't know where your upside is anymore.
Yeah,
it's clean. It's clean. It's just not. It's not my Buzz.
Nope. It is a good looking NFT, but.
So if you had to give any advice to any of the viewers then in terms of what they should generally target in their stacking, we know that there's certain ones that you like, right? Like Visible Woman, let's say.
Right.
What would be your advice? Is it stack what you like?
Stack what you like and study. Okay. So not just that you like that item, but that should be a part of it, because you're going to be looking at it for so long and you want a sense of pride and something to motivate you to do the work. So then look at the prices multiple times per day. Study the chart a lot. See what the buzz is in discussion groups about it, what the rumors of some, interoperability or utility that could be coming up or whatever. And so since when you can know the price history, the behavior, and the tendency for whale sweeps or artificial pumps or whatever, then go ahead and stack that thing, because you're not just taking a blind stab at something just because it's popular, but you know the behavior.
Yeah. So Carlton, you're really confusing me because you're changing my whole strategy now. I was always of the mindset, and I think Rob's very similar when it comes to investing, especially in stock market, is we tend to invest with momentum. And that would be if we were to go after the larger items, maybe not do the stacking technique because it's
I
something
agree
that
with
we
you
like.
on that. Yeah, because I was hearing you talking about that. What was that on the last video?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. But like,
Yeah,
for example, if we wanted to jump into a Walt or something like that, we've seen him coming down. Right now, there's no reason for him to not keep trending in this direction just
that's
because
true. That's
if
true.
actually Omi the Clown put out a tweet, I should have pulled it up earlier. Actually,
Uh-huh.
Allison Veve, which is Omi the Clown's other account, he put up
Right.
a tweet that said that their active wallets in the last day was 30 to 50
Huh. Wow.
new users.
New users, new
Okay.
users.
New users. So 30 to 50 new users is a very low number.
Yeah, that is low. That's very
And
low. And see where you are correct on that, buying into momentum. Who wants to tie up $5,000 on a wall and wait 7 months because it didn't start moving? So
yeah.
that's a smart move when it comes to buying a grail. So I actually agree with you. I would not buy a Walt right now and tie up that money. I'm going to be buying Sue for $6 because it's at a low point and I'm not tying out that much. I'm going to be stacking. But yeah, when the market starts to move and we see the momentum, we see the volume, then you can grab a Walt to swing trade, because that's what, like in stocks and in crypto, I do what you do too. I'll only accumulate stuff that is in the toilet while it's laying low on the ground like a dog. I call that the dog days. You know, it's hot outside. That dog's lazy. He's just sitting there. Oh, and he's not going to move. He ain't going to get up. He's just tired. It's way down in the deep south. It's 105 degrees outside on a front porch in Mississippi, in Vicksburg, you know. So that's the dog days, okay? It's okay to invest in the dog days when you know you're going to be waiting forever. So you sprinkle a little bit at a time. But we're not going to go whole hog and buying a whole Bitcoin until the market is moving up, because you're wanting to swing trade and not tie up your money for a long time. You want to get in and in a few days, weeks, or months, get back out and assume some profits. So we actually do have similarity in our strategies. We don't disagree there.
That reminds me so much. Sorry, Joe. I want to mention that this reminds me so much of Ethereum back in the crypto winter, when your dog days, as you described it, that flatline price movement for so long was going nowhere.
Yep.
And you just knew one day it was gonna flip.
That's right.
So that's why I wanted to show it. It just reminded me of that, because this was the first hype back in 2017, right? 2018, 2017. Went to the 2019 crypto winter, and then bang, there's your pump. So sorry, go ahead, Joe.
No, I just wanted to say, like, I feel like we were going to get a lot of comments maybe after this video about how our strategy was completely opposite of what Carlton's talking about, but I don't think it is. I think that actually Carlton's strategy might actually supplement our strategy.
Yes, it does. It supplements it. It helps.
It helps build your exactly. It builds your capital to go into those bigger purchases, and then if you choose to hold, like, that's something you might want to hold forever. If you get a Walt and a Mickey, because it's just a grail item, people love it, and people talk about holding it forever. So why not pull the Carlton strategy, stack up a bunch of things on the way down in the dog days, in the crypto winter, stack up your stacks, and then as you're selling on the way up, you accumulate that thing. Sure, you might be paying a little bit more for that Walt and Mickey, but you're buying into momentum. That's right. And if you can get it if you can get it early enough on, you might be okay. Or you get the next grail, because Walt and Mickey's not going to be the only grail. There's going to be things with other utility. There's plenty of things that other people will want, and that's not going to be the only thing that comes to you.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense to get the Walt just for the flex. I mean, go for the money. If you can get the same gains without that much risk to the other grail, then get the other grail. Who needs to brag?
I love the idea.
That's why we think alike. We're civil engineers.
True.
You know?
That's true.
Analytical minds.
I like the idea that you said about supplementing the strategy, because maybe someone's like, look, I got 1,500 gems. I just want to participate in the game. I love the nostalgia of owning and collecting. Do it in a way that you can maybe benefit yourself in the future. And I think that, like you said, Carlton's strategy, spot on. I think it's a great way to participate in the game and buy in a smart way, that kind of limits your downside risk, but at the same time giving you that opportunity and flexibility if you need to make change direction, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing, sorry, it adds to your MCP points as well. If you're going for that game, you're going to get a ton of MCP points doing that type of strategy. So I think there's other layers to it as well. And you get a bunch of collectibles. You don't got just one thing in your showroom. You can show off a bunch of things, do different cool stuff with it. I think there's benefits to both strategies, and I think when you combine them together, it gets really, really spicy.
Yeah. I show people all the time the collection, and sometimes I'm like, it's just somebody brand new, and I know they have an interest in some IP that I don't own. I know that they would really like this piece of art, whatever it is, and I don't own it. So if you own all that different collectibles, you can actually bring it into AR. You can help sell the app that way.
Right.
So yeah, you know what? I think there's been a lot of valuable information, and none of this stuff isn't new for your viewers. People who watch you regularly, they already know this strategy. So great way for us to bring it, explain it to some of the superstars out there as well. Usually our interviews run about an hour. We've got about 5 minutes left, but I want to ask you, is there anything that's on your mind in general that you would like to discuss that's maybe been bothering you, or just something you want to just talk about in general? I want to open the floor to you. Is there anything that you want to mention?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I did want to follow up on a request from you two smart guys. I am like so busy, I've got my consulting business, my body shop, my marketing business, my health business. I got a lot going on. And so one thing that I can't wait is for someone to be able to extract the data off of the blockchain where why can't we get hourly prices right now? I don't know the answer to that because I haven't dug in to figure out why we're not able to query this data. But if we ever get to the point where two smart guys like you guys could extract data where we end up with even a daily candle where it has an open and a close and, wicks above and below. If I could take a chart, I take the price charts with these items, but it's a line chart. If you put candles on that, I'm going to have prediction capabilities on steroids. Okay. Yeah. So that little stuff, that's nothing compared to what I can do. I can do magic if someone can come up with actual candles. Yeah. So maybe between you guys and Puttin Cheeks.
go puttin. It's funny you brought that up because so the API right now is a closed API. We're not coders. We wouldn't be able to build that, but there are many coders and smart
people in this community,
and they're ready to go. So I think when the API is released, and we should probably follow up with Veve on when that's going to happen. They promised.
You should push them. It's our data, just like you were saying. We're buying these things. This is ours. So what sense would it make if Bitcoin didn't share the buying and selling data, down to the minute? Yeah. It's public information. So if we are cryptocurrency and if we are buying NFTs, we should have this data, period.
Yeah. And I think it's going to come. They talk about interoperability with MetaMask and Immutable X. Right now, Immutable X, if you look here, all we have right now are just wallets. If you click into the wallets, for example, this wallet over here, all you have are token IDs that you cannot know for certain because there isn't any metadata in the background to help us basically figure out what the collectible is. That information, and we're going to follow up with Veve and find out and confirm with them that they're going to give the same information when it goes to Immutable X's now. When that comes out and that happens, I think you'll start seeing some serious things for each collectible. So that will be second to second. That's live.
The other thing about these numbers here that is, as things are minted, is when these token IDs become available. So, for example, if you get a drop and the market's been open and someone goes and mints something from a different collection. So if someone buys a Moonflower in the middle of a Vader drop, then Vader's no longer consecutive numbers in the token IDs. Then you got one Moonflower in the middle, so you can't confirm that it's from this number to this number. It's actually kind of a headache, and all of the coders and all of the smart people in the Veve community that we've spoken to are waiting for that day when we can get the metadata, and we believe it'll come. But like Rob said, we'll definitely try to communicate with Veve to get an idea.
This is the extent of what we know right now. This was minted. This collectible number, which we don't know what it is, was minted 6 months ago, and it got transferred 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And these are the wallets that exchanged. Eventually, we think it will all be revealed to us, and we will know exactly what the collectible is, what day it was traded, and it will be live information. It will not be leaked.
Wow, that will be cool.
Yeah, because you're a day trader. You're a chart guy. You're a chart guy.
Indeed.
So you're ready to go. You're like, give me this. I need this. I'm ready to
be
go.
ready.
Well, I think you did a fantastic job. I think it was
this was fun. Thank you guys. I've been looking forward to this, and I absolutely love and depend on all of your daily videos. You know, sometimes I'm not so lucky as to even be able to upload one video in a week, in a busy week, and I'll be in the body shop working, and you guys are talking, and I'm getting updated, and so I depend on you guys for information. So I appreciate that, and everybody back in my crew, shout out to Dr. Strange and everybody else in the Cryptopro Telegram. We appreciate you guys as we post. Everybody shares in our Telegram group. They share your videos all the time, and it becomes topics of discussion, and you are looked at as knowledgeable leaders and experts in the field. So you're very appreciated.
We definitely appreciate your support, and everyone, Dr. Strange for sure, appreciate everyone's support. Again, our goal really is just to bring the topics to discussion every time we make a video, and just, you know, try to be as honest and candid with our opinions, and do our best to just give our opinions and stay true to ourselves. But definitely, we've been watching you from, I think, long before we started our YouTube channel.
Yeah, I was watching you before we started. You're one of the people that we really enjoy watching because you're data driven, and something that we really look towards. You can see it from our videos, but also a lot of the stuff that we bring up in our topics isn't even our idea. It's a lot of the community members' ideas that leave comments on our videos. So really important. If anybody picked anything up from this video, maybe they think there's holes in our strategies, leave some comments below and let us know. I'm sure Carlton will be reading them as well. And we always take into account whatever you guys said, because we can't do it all ourselves. We need to take each other's ideas, and then that's how we come up with strategies that maybe benefit one another. The other thing, Rob, I think it is well overdue for this video. You know exactly what I'm thinking. Standing ovation. Thank you, Carlton. That was a fantastic interview. Really greatly appreciate you taking an hour out of your busy day with all the business projects you got going on. We've been scheduling this, and we were finally happy to be able to get you on the channel and share your knowledge. And I think I learned a lot on this video myself, and I'm starting to think maybe I should be buying and stacking some lesser wanted things and riding that wave back up to sell them. Like I love that idea. So let's see what happens.
Yeah,
well, let's do it again soon.
Yep. Yeah, appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for coming on. Fantastic job. Everyone, let us know below what you guys think about today's video, any topic we discussed, the strategy. Are you stacking? Do you agree? Are you going to change your strategy now? Let us know below. We'd love to hear from you. Let's open up the next Disney Mini.
So let's see what we're going to add into the collection. Ooh, we got Cinderella.
All right.
In her little case. So that's a grail. I think that came to Veve.
That's good. That's good. That's some
Cinderella comes to Veve. That's a grail.
That's some great IP. Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you guys all so much for watching. Thank you, Cryptopro. Remember, don't forget, guys, check out his YouTube channel right here. Go follow him. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Also, don't forget. There you go. Smash the subscribe button. Become a superstar. Join the superstar fam. We want to hear from you. Let us know below whether you agree with us or not. We got some punching going around. I need a ladder to climb on and just jump off the ladder, right?
I'm getting sandwiched in the middle here.
I got to get a ladder in here. Oh, look what I got. That's it. You guys are toast. You guys are toast. You're screwed now.
Become a VIP. Become a VIP.
Join the VIP membership. We want to generate as much utility as possible for you. Go download our probability spreadsheet. We'll do an advertisement like we did today. Go and buy it was a Bell, right? A Bell. Yep. Go buy his listed $9.99 for Marvel Comics #1 low mint. So good deal over there. You can message us anytime. We got a Discord you can check out as well. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support, and we will see you on the next one. Take care.
Love you.
Peace.
Bye.